started digging through here. Basically just kind of moving the ash. When I find something that still, could be a coal, I just pile it up. And you can see some of them are, still glowing. So there's definitely some coals in there. And it's good to get the ash out of there anyway. So this, you're kind of doing two things at once. You're making your fire easier to start. You're also getting the good stuff back where it needs to be. But I got a secret weapon still. Actually, I got two secret weapons. Oh yeah, lots of little coals in there. I don't know if that's wood or a rock. Old stick. Too big for me to move. Oh. Okay, so now we got a pile of coals. I'll show you what else I got lined up for my grand plan here. Got a bunch of birch bark. I got some slightly smaller sticks that I saved from last night. They got snowed on pretty good though. And since they were so close to the fire, it was kind of wet. These were a little farther away from the fire. So these might still be good, and they're smaller in diameter. But I think with that birch bark and the coals, they'll burn. They'll just have to dry out for a second first. So, I'll take the birch bark, throw some on top of them coals, start drying out. Normally I would have fanned them first, but I was thinking, just to get them a little bit hotter. Try to blow all the ash away from my shelter. And before that catches flame, little stuff here. Hopefully I can just blow it to life. Yeah, I do have a lighter. Could just light the paper birch, but this just takes a little longer because those coals have to light the coals next to them to start getting enough heat to really catch something aflame. There you go. fire. I'll make for a nice quick coffee in the morning. Once I get my frozen water melted. Try to get some little larger ones on there. Shaking a camo around here. Maybe I could stand out my headband for this, so I can lay the camera on my forehead. Make sure you're still in frame there. Yeah, that birch bark is amazing. Grab some of this bigger stuff now. Keep stepping it up, you know. Fortunately, though, besides the wood that's in there, the larger wood that I have, I will have to go get some more in a minute. Okay, yeah, we're recording. I'm going to take you and show you where I get my water. Got my little bush pot. I think it's this way. So here's the problem. The pond is frozen, and the stream is freezing more and more every day. But there is this one little spot. Let's see if we can do this without getting wet. Ow. Yuck, floaters. That looks good. Now the trick is not to spill it on the way back. Get out of here without falling. Wow, look at that tree. That would make some good firewood. Pretty rotten though. This one over here though, actually there's like 3 of them that are dead standing. But I've got my eye, I mean there's firewood all over here. But I've got my eye on this one tree. I'll show you here. I swear, by the time I leave, I'm gonna have this thing bucked up and burnt in my fire. This one right here, leaning. That'll be enough to make my breakfast, my coffee, all together with like the larger stuff and the smaller. So that's a good find. And that's how I roll. Try not to grab the punky crap. I don't like that stuff. You get a fire that just sits there and smokes and smokes. You get no real heat from it. I mean, you can use a piece or two of punky wood. Once you got a good bed of coals, and it'll like sit there and smolder and keep, you know, that coal bed going. Oops, don't rip Paul's tent. But yeah, I mean, I don't like to put too much punky wood on. I always try to knock the snow off my boots before I go near the fire if I can, because that way it doesn't melt and soak my shoes or boots. Alright, so I'm gonna get to work on this little tree. Easy way to get those limbs off. If the tree doesn't move. This is my new axe, by the way. I freaking love it. Although, I'm gonna do a little work on this grind. I'd like it a little bit more narrow, farther back. There. I got all those little limbs I can burn, and I'll probably saw up that, at least what it can't break by hand. Alright, I'll be back with you. It's snowing again, as usual. But I wanted to show you guys something I thought was pretty cool. That tree that I just grabbed, that little one, I went to break it, and you could see the part that was under the snow. I mean, that is punky wood. That's not something I'd want to throw on my fire. You go up just a little bit, you got nice, crisp, good wood for burning. That's good. It's not like super soaked or frozen. So, yeah, I just thought that was cool. The one piece of wood kind of had both extremes, you know? Alright, I'll do that. Even a big one there is starting to catch now. This one right here. My trusty fire poker. See if I can get this larger one in some of that heat too. This should be really dried out. It shouldn't take long to catch. Stay. That is a beautiful sight in the early morning hours. Alright, I'm gonna go grab just a little bit of wood, and then I'll get back to you. There's always work to do, but I don't really mind as long as I have the energy. The hike in day one was really exhausting, so I'm kind of still, just starting to recover from that, especially with the abscess. And the first day, I banged my leg here on something, gave myself a nasty Charlie horse. That was not fun, and it's been really sore sitting down, standing up. It hurts. Oh, but yeah, it's a lot about time management. You only have so much daylight, especially in winter. That sun's gonna go down by 4:30, so you got to be ready to make it through the night. First day was really just survival mode. We didn't probably get here until 10 or 11. I was exhausted from the hike. I just kind of rigged up a ramshackle shelter, which now I gotta spend the time to fix, but sun was going down. What are you gonna do? You gotta have something, some kind of cover. It is gorgeous out here, though. That's one of the nice things about it. Never stopping snowing. That the trees are always gorgeous looking. The downside to that is that they're always, right as I say that, a bunch of snow comes down. They're always dropping snow on your head. See? I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna get to work here. I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, so rest of the time. Well, coffee time for now. Last time I went camping, I took the instant coffee. Oh, that was disgusting. Never again. Boiling. Very carefully without spilling it. I'm just going to chuck the rest of that water. I know it's kind of a sin, but it's pretty ashy. And I don't have to go too far to get more. I've never used these coffee packets like this, so I'm curious to see how the coffee comes out. I transferred it into this green cup because it tends to stay warmer longer than in the metal container, the metal little bush pot there. I'll be right back. I'm going to show you how I get firewood, because lot of times the stuff on the ground is really easy to grab. So like there's a little piece over here. But this is going to be all wet and punky and frozen. That's garbage wood. You don't want that crap. But anything up off the ground, you know, this is all great wood. I hope the camera's getting this. Just to move on to show you some other examples. I just like to look at this one. So even stuff like this, as long as it's, you know, above the snow line, that'll mostly be good. Probably hasn't been there very long. Over here there's some handy looking pieces. Yeah, that's the stuff I don't really like to grab, because you don't know how long it's been buried in that snow. I didn't bring my saw this trip, or this little tree over here would be great. This is good though, it's up out of the snow. That's good wood. This whole thing here, if I had my saw, I could take that off. I just left it back at camp. I did bring it though. Wonder if I could grab this whole tree. Hey, it's too early for this crap. There we go. Oh, that's got some good wood down at the bottom too. This one tree, I figured I'd show you guys. Now that I got that last tree over here, I figured I'd show you the wood that I've collected in actually a very short time. It's probably only been, I don't know, an hour since I had my coffee. And this is what I've got. Got those there, cut up a couple. My little stick pile. Stuff that needs to be broken up. And then a few trees that need to be de-limbed and bucked. But all in all, I mean, the wood's not very thick, so it should go quick. It'd be nice if I had some help, but that's alright. Oh no, I got another tree over there. Forgot, this is the one I just dragged back here. That one there. But the wood should be good. I mean, just to give you an idea, I didn't make this cut. You can kind of see, I mean, it's probably a little damp and frozen because that one was already on the ground. The other ones are dead standing. All these here. So I mean, they're dry. Got some good crack to them. This is a cut that I made. I mean, you can see that. That's going to be good burning wood. This is one I might save for the nighttime because this is a little bit heavier than a lot of the pine that I've been dragging back. I don't know if it is pine or not, but I got one that's tulip poplar or some kind of poplar. That long stringy bark, vertical bark. So yeah, I'm gonna see about what I can do for my shelter now. I'll be right back. I will get that tree. I've been looking at these. I've been seeing them around. I don't know if this is tulip poplar, but it looks like some kind of poplar. If it's tulip poplar, it makes really good wood for bow drill fires. The bark is good for starting fires. It also has some medicinal qualities too. But I'm still learning that stuff. That's why I'm learning as I film. Look at Paul's mess over here. So out of place in my campsite. Just like, it's so freaking tarp. He's got his nice fancy tent, which I'm a little jealous of sometimes. But I mean, little tents like that, they don't really trap much heat in, and you can't put them close to the fire because they'll burn. So I don't know, it's a trade-off, I guess. Alright, set my water down without spilling it. It'll partially be frozen by the time I'm ready to use it, I'm sure. It always is. So I'm thinking about what I'm going to do now. I gotta obviously get firewood. That's a never-ending chore. Can never stop gathering firewood. But I also want to either fix or completely redo my shelter. Man, look at that thing. It's so low to the ground. I need a little bit more room. I think if I take this back corner and tie it up to Mr. Devil Ears over there, or Devil Horns, that'll lift that up and pull it that way. It'll stop some snow from getting down on the side here also, but that'll give me more room by my head area where my sleeping bag is, and allow me to move back so my feet aren't sticking out right here, which is the problem I've had the past 2 nights. I thought this, because I had this originally tied up over here, and I moved it back so it's nice and tight, you know, here, so no snow really gets in. But back there, that needs to come up and over. I might do this. I don't like how this is sagging here. I'd like to somehow get that tighter. So yeah, I mean, okay, so I cleaned off the snow so I could kind of see what was going on with my shelter. You could see all Tom's stuff, or Paul's stuff there. I brought a little sled so we could drag some stuff, because I needed to carry an extra backpack for my camera gear. But here's your problem. I accidentally didn't use the corner tie down for the corner stake here. This should be over here, like that. And then that would allow me to pull that corner farther that way. That's going to make things a lot better. A lot better. So I'll tie that corner to Mr. Demon Horns over there. Just need to get me a, I don't know, good 7 to 8 feet of cordage. And I think that's going to be good enough in itself. I mean, it's always a work in progress, but I think I can get this shelter tip top. keep all the snow off me. I might even add like a tie out right here, pull that tight. We'll see. See how it does after I do the corners first. The corners are really the important thing. So I'm gonna do that. I don't have much battery, so I'm gonna conserve. Paul's got my cell phone, so with this back I'll have that battery, and I have another battery charging. So, all right, talk to you in a second. Hey friends. So, just taking a quick break. I actually got firewood. You can see I got one root cluster there from a tree, another one kind of drying out, and then I got 3 trees that I dragged over there, and I got one more that I cut down, or no, I just knocked it down, but I got one more over there to drag over, but it's not too large. I just figured I'd take a little break. But yeah, that didn't really take that long either. So yeah, once I get that tree over, I'm gonna start trying to fix this shelter a little bit. At least I know I have a few, hours worth of wood with those trees. And the stuff that looks really good, I'll save for nighttime. I try to only burn the stuff that's gonna sit there and smolder during the day, unless I need to cook something. I'll throw on some good wood. But I try to be a little conservative with my wood during the day. But fire's going. I mean, going enough. I just threw a lot of wet wood on there, so. This is a cool little spot for a campsite. We got this big log here that we could sit on. I say we, but Paul only came back the first night, arrived at midnight, and packed up and left first thing in the morning. Hasn't been back since. He's got my cell phone too, which is another way I could film. But I also actually have service here, which is strange. It's a lot farther up in the mountains in the first place I went camping, in the second place. And I had no service there, even a half hour leading up to it. Wind has picked up quick. Lots of snow falling on my head. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab that tree, and if I got enough battery life, I'll film me fixing my shelter. Hey guys, so I worked on my shelter a little. Then I had to get the fire going again because that died out. So here's the inside of my shelter now. That back side is a lot more opened up. That should be nice. I also raised the peak a little bit, center line. And let me show you the other modifications I made here to give me a little bit more room. If I can get up. So I tied down that corner over there, and then both the corner and there I added tie downs to pull this whole section a little tighter. But what that did, it's actually got me a little worried, because I think tonight's the night it's supposed to get down to 2 degrees. Let's see this. See how it opened up that section there? It opened it up a little bit more. I mean, I'll have more room to scoot back towards this way with my head, which will be nice because my feet won't be sticking out the end there. Normally I'd lay, a little bit diagonal, like this way or that way, but there's like a log underneath my shelter. Let me show you. runs basically like this, right up to where my finger's pointing. So that's kind of a nuisance, but as you can see, I should be able to scoot that sleeping mat and my whole ground mat back another foot. I might have to dig out some of that snow towards the back there. Maybe use it to fill in some of the gaps too around the edges. But the work never ends. It's lunchtime. I'm gonna make some lunch. So for lunch, I'm gonna reheat my mashed potatoes that I didn't finish last night. I saved them here. See, I got a little left. I think what I'll do is add a little boiling water, and if it gets too watery, I'll just add a few more potatoes. Might warm this up a little bit first, so it's not completely frozen. I know my hand holding the pan is hot. Jeez. Yeah. Oh, jeez, that's hot. Good Lord. How's my water not boiling yet at that hot of a temperature? I think that's good for them. They just need a little water. And I'll add more potatoes. Because to go through all this trouble for such a tiny amount? No. I thought I left more, but... Alright, so the water's pretty much ready. I'll be there in a couple seconds, but I think what I'm going to do is have something a little... I need some protein for energy. So I think what I'm going to do is for dinner, I'm going to have... I brought a can of corned beef hash. In my opinion, it's one of the best survival foods. Because in that can, there's no airspace. There's just beef and potatoes. So it's like the perfect little survival food. All right. I'd say that's ready. Hot enough to make potatoes. I mean, I'm not trying to sterilize it. I just want to make some potatoes. Oh, they smell good. Guess not. Alright, so I'll set the potatoes aside for a second. Try to remember where I put... Oh, I know where I put them. Right here. Alright, how are we going to get this water to boil? Come on, we need more heat. Trying to boil it without burning or getting the handle too hot so it burns my hand when I pick it up. That's a really short handle. Definitely got a good coal bed though. I mean, those coals are good. They should be generating a lot of heat. I know it hurts to have my hand near them. Ah! Almost spilled my water. This one just broke in half. Come on, boil already. Alright, well, I'll let this boil and I'll get back to you. They thicken as they cool, so a little bit more water.
I think we'll be good. Little trick I did, I took my fry pan type thing and I put it in the bowl so it's not setting on the snow. So hopefully the bottom won't get so cold so fast and my food will stay warm a little bit longer. If that works well, I'll do it with my corned beef hash tonight too. Probably have half of that can tonight and then half tomorrow. Let's see, how'd we do? Delicious. Okay, I'm gonna eat. I'll get back to you guys in a bit.